All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Plus, because the thing, like with my oldest, he used to always say, "That's not fair." And I told him what my father told me: life ain't fair.
Life's not fair.
Deal with
Life's not
it.
fair.
Deal with it. And then it's funny when your children come to you, and I never got a chance to say it to my father, but I'm sure I would have said it. I said, adulting is hard. When they come to you talking about adulting and hard and paying bills, I said, how'd you make it look so easy? I said, because I didn't want to worry you about what we were going through. And I'm sure everybody on this panel could say the same thing.
I had that conversation with my daughter. I know we're talking about guys, but fathers, but I had that type of conversation with my daughter, and she made me seem like I was the superwoman, but I had to pull her to the side and say, no, I'm not. So yeah, you're right. When your kids look at you and they think it's easy, so they want to do it. They want to become adults before time because we make it look easy to them, but that's not the case. You're
It's
right.
sure, it's showing, it's showing.
Dad hustled a lot. He done a lot of jobs under the table. He made a way out of no way completely, and for him to be able to take care of two families at one time to me was tremendous and in his honor because he made it work. He made it work for somehow some apparent reason. And I used to, think I say, "Oh, he's always working, but he still always made time for us."
And he couldn't keep money in his pocket.
No, he couldn't do that. No. Now with seven kids, no.
He could not keep anybody in his pocket. He used to jump on me talking about, I said, Daddy, I want to go play a video game. What you playing a video game for? You got any money? Lecture me for 30 minutes about a dang on quarter. But then again, when I became a parent, I did the same thing, so I can't say too much.
Exactly. But
He also taught us that put our family first, home come first.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
That
yeah,
he taught us.
definitely. I feel the same way that your father and your parents teach you to put family first, because the answers that or the responses that the people say, that's how I see it, is that your dad taught you family, your dad taught you strength, your dad taught you hard work, determination, stick with what you're doing, don't quit, don't be a quitter. And yeah, so I got that as a little short little synopsis of what everybody said, and that makes me feel good because you still had you knew you had somebody there. Because today a lot of no, I shouldn't say today, because I do see a lot of fathers trying to force themselves into their children, continue to force themselves in their children's lives, even if they have any blocks in their way, they still try to be there for their kids. I see that today. But, when my kids was growing up, a lot of their parents, their fathers weren't around and they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. So I'm glad to see it coming back around with this newest generation. I'm
Yeah,
always putting this newer generation down because of the things I see, and they feel that we owe them something. But I do see with the fathers that they're trying to stay consistent in their children's lives, even with the blocks and the walls in their way.
so okay, I'm gonna ask, since all my three co-hosts are I'm the only one in here that I'm not a granddad, but their children are their male children have children. Leave it at that. What do you think they got they got from their father figures or their actual fathers? I'll start with you, Bean.
Well, I could say my oldest son surprised me because he told me he never wanted any children, like I said, and he surprised me to being a helicopter parent. Never thought that would be possible from out of my, my child that likes to be in the street. But he took care of his child, and I believe he got that from his father because his father and me had custody at different times of his life. I had him for the first 9 years, and his father had him for the, until he was 18, from 9 years old to 18. So he had both of his parents, and on top of that, he has his stepmother who was in the house with his father. So he had the best of both worlds of having a two-parent household and having individual um time with me and his brother from me. My youngest son, he's doing well so far with his daughter. He has her a lot. He is an involved father, and he has a very strong which I thank God for. He has a strong support system in his child's mother's family. Also, they're willing to let him mess up and explain to him how he's messing up so he could fix it. And I like that about them. They're not just like, oh, break up with him and take the kid away. No, he's making mistakes because he's a young father. And they explain what the mistakes are, and he's learning from that. I'm seeing that myself. So they learn. I don't know. My youngest son, he learned that from watching his uncles and his male cousins. Um, Not so much his father, but the males that were around his father take care of their children very well. And so he's seen that it's possible that he sees now, especially that he's over 20 and that he's 21, and he's like, oh, it's possible. Even if you don't have much, you could spend time with your children and show them that love. That's the wealth of, of being a parent. You don't always have to have the money, but as long as you're there for them, you don't, as long as you're there for them and showing them that you are there for them and you're willing to be down and out with them so they could, be better. And that's what I believe my son is learning and have learned.
That's
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Apple, what about you? What about your son?
Oh, he's about to be a father again, and he's very happy about that. He's an excellent father, in my opinion. I mean, it's some areas that he can improve on, but parenthood is a learning process anyway. No one's a perfect father. You do the best you can with what you have, but he takes care of his daughter. He knows how to do her hair. She has a chronic illness, and he's at every doctor's appointment. And she, unfortunately, she was in the hospital for a couple of days last week. And, him and his ex-wife, they take turns spending nights in the hospital with her. And he's just always there for her. Sometimes he can't be there physically because he does work doubles like multiple times a week. Um, but when he can't be there physically, he's there, of course, financially, and he talks to her every day on the phone. And he's just a really good dad, and I think he got that from watching his uncles and seeing how well y'all did with y'all children and how well y'all did with y'all nephews. And I'm very proud of him in with that. And yeah, I think it's hard when you yourself don't grow up with a dad and you try to do things differently. And I think that's what he's doing. Even though he knows his dad, obviously, and he spent time with his dad wasn't the best example of what a dad should be. So I think he picked good aspects from each of his uncles because all my brothers, if I do say so myself, are very good dads. Every last one of you. And I think he saw that and he tried to emulate, you know, what he saw you guys doing, and he tried to he tries to do better than what his dad did with him.
That's awesome. Chocolate Pearl?
Well, I have one that has many children and from many wives. Yes, I said wives.